Hello, everybody, and welcome to the E and B Talk Show. I need to turn my ringer off real quick. There we go, so we don't get a bunch. I'm Braxton Manning, and this is the E and B Talk Show, like I said. And I am joined today by my co-host, as always, Ethan Johnston.
I'm cleaning your guitar.
He is cleaning your guitar. He's cleaning my brother's guitar that he got for $20.
Cleaning it, put new strings on it, everything. Setting it up a little bit more.
He's going to make it look nice and shiny. If you need guitars cleaned and you would like to pay good money, just find Ethan Johnson at the phone number of...
Let's not go advertising that.
Yeah. It's, I think the last time we recorded an episode has to be...
In the car?
No, I don't think it was in the car. I think we were here.
Yeah.
No. It would have been in the car, probably. Because it was... The last time I was here that we... No, because that was last... Oh, my Lord. Was the last time I was in here December?
Maybe. Roughly around that time, I think.
Because my parents weren't here. They were in Germany. Was that really the last time? Oh, my gosh. I've been here forever, dude.
Squeaky clean, goodness.
But,
I can see myself in it. Dang, those are really good. Yeah.
But yeah, and we saw a mouse in the background or whatever in the box with the shoes.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, what is that? Yeah. Was that... So yeah, it probably was a car episode. Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think because it's just been so long. We graduated. We graduated.
We did.
Yep, we are officially adults in this world of toil and misery.
That's going to come out in a hot minute, so let's see it there. Yeah.
It's very interesting to watch Ethan clean this guitar.
Just don't stay completely silent.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, we graduated, and we're kind of just gonna talk about we might talk about memories, or like school memories or whatever, fun memories from school.
Yeah.
And then future plans that we have. But first, how you doing, Ethan?
Having a grand old time. I feel like lately I've been needing to do a lot of things. And when my free time is cleared up, a bunch of people are asking me, hey, you want to do this and you want to do that? And I'm like, yeah, but this person wants to do this thing. And then my dad makes me work on something on top of that. And I feel like I'm never going to get a break.
Am I one of those people?
Maybe. Oh, cleaning this bridge is going to be interesting.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about the Q-tips about.
Yeah. There's
Is it sideways?
Sideways?
Is the bridge bent?
No.
Or is that just a dirt stick?
These saddles are adjusted differently.
Oh, okay.
So it probably gives it the illusion that it is, but it's not.
Okay.
If these get stuck in the saddle, I will be a little bit upset, because that's what happened to my Strat just before the talent show.
Yeah, and you had to use a double neck.
Yeah.
We might talk about the talent show already.
Like our progression on the talent shows.
Yeah.
We've done 3.
Yeah, so you've been overworked.
Yep.
Me, I've not really been doing anything.
Yeah.
I just kind of, thank you notes. I've been writing thank you notes forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. But thank you to everyone who came to my graduation party. It was fun. I had fun. But yeah, thank you. Yeah, you better be ready, Ethan, to write all those thank you letters.
Oh, I know.
It's... Oh my gosh. I have a whole table set up in my bedroom. Just like, I have like the thank you letters, the envelopes. I've got 2 different pens. I've just been getting them out. I think I had 4 pages of thank yous, and then I had 1 on the back, and I know I might at least get 2 more things from 2 other people. But yeah, the total came out to $2,700, like in money, and then 125 Amazon dollars that I spent on a camera.
I have $120 right now. Actually, 140, but 120 from Grab Money because my mom gave me a card, probably about as big as this cardboard piece right here.
What?
Yeah.
This
Hang on a second. This cardboard piece in question is about.
He's measuring it with a tape measure right now. If that's what people are wondering.
Width is about 2 feet, and
Length.
the length that was about like. Let me look again. Oh, I don't want to pull this out anymore because if you get too close to 30, then it just doesn't work anymore because it's really cheap. I got this for like 50 cents or something. Yeah, close to like 32 inches.
I haven't used measurements in so long. What's the closest foot to 32 inches?
Yeah. I haven't mathed in a long time, so I'm just...
I'm trying to think. I'm like, okay, so 12 inches.
It's 4 inches away from 3 feet. Like, if you go
Okay,
4
so
more
it's
inches,
almost a yard.
something like
Just 3
that.
feet is a yard, I think. If I remember that correctly. Dude, I cannot remember how to spell being. I can't remember how to spell it.
Like, you don't know currently.
I currently do not know how to spell it. I don't know if it's B-E-I-N-G or if it's B-I-E-N-G. Because it's always I before E or however that goes. I just know it's
I before E except after C and would sound like an A as in neighbor and way, and weekends and holidays and all throughout Maine knows you're wrong no matter what you say.
How do you have that memorized?
It's just one of those things. But it's B-E-I-N-G because you're B-ing, you're not buying.
Oh.
Because if you want to be something, you B-E. And then you're just inging it.
Okay. So Chris's and Alex's thank you letters, like I was like, oh yeah, thank you for being my friend, on both of them.
Yeah.
But Alex's is like I don't even I put in like a little, made like little scribbles or whatever. I was like, honestly, I have no idea if I spelled this correctly, because I like corrected it or whatever. And I think something similar to that is in Chris's thank you letter also.
Huh.
So yeah.
It just happens, I guess.
I was just like, I honestly cannot think of how to spell this. And I had one of those moments in a long time, and I was just like, I also can't spell beginning because it's just such a long word and there's so many repeats.
Do you know how to spell begin?
B-E-G-I-N.
Do you know how to spell ing?
I-N-G. It's just begin and then I-N-G. Oh.
There might be 2 N's in there.
See, that's what I like. I'm like,
Oh yeah, you're kind of right.
there's so many repeats that it's just like, in the start.
Upon the beginning. No, dang it.
Once upon a time. Yeah. So we're going to kick this off since we've talked about ourselves.
With dyslexia.
Dyslexia.
Today's sponsor.
Oh no. Brady's whole thing with like the sponsors is whenever I say something or whatever, it's like, oh yeah, this, and I say a brand name, he's like, not sponsored.
Yeah.
If you watch the hot sauce video on my channel, which it's like, it's almost an hour long, but the ending's not even there. And it's so sad. Or the beginning part, one of the parts is not missing, like the middle part, I think, because we had the beginning, and then my phone just stopped recording, and I was like, what? And we didn't know because my phone was over there across the room.
Huh.
Yeah. That was a fun time. I also cannot wait. Brady's getting pretty close to finishing his house.
Yeah.
So I cannot wait to start 3 Dummies and an Intellect.
Yeah, the thing that I made a...
Yes, I forgot about that intro until it started popping up on my music on my other phone. Because I was listening and so I was like, what is this? And I was like, oh, intro for three intellect
Yes, three intellects and one dummy.
No, one intellect and three dummies or whatever it is.
3 dummies and an intellect.
Okay. It's just my brain's like running a half circuit. Man, I'm actually super excited because Brady and I have such a good what is it called? We do really good when chemistry. Yeah, we have really good chemistry when it comes to like just talking about random things.
Yeah.
Like literally, I was over at his house and he was just like, "Oh yeah, this one thing. Oh, we were talking about. Oh, we were talking about sauces, because he's got me like trying new stuff and everything. Like I actually really like honey mustard, and so we'll just end up talking about like sauces or something. He's like, "Oh yeah, this sauce is like really good." We're like, "Oh, that's interesting." And so, yeah. So, since Ethan's cleaning a guitar, I am gonna go ahead and talk about my future plans right now that I have, and then he can talk after I'm done, and we can discuss stuff. Yeah. It's been so long since I've done a podcast episode. Yeah. So currently, I originally applied for a job a couple weeks ago, right before Memorial Day. I think it was like that Friday. I applied for my first job, and I actually never heard back from them.
Huh.
But and my mom was going to make me go to, I'm not going to mention the company, but my mom was going to make me go to their main place or whatever and be like, hey, I applied for a job and I would really like to get this job. And I will say there was a ton of benefits for this job.
Yeah.
I ended up getting offered a full paid trip to Kalamazoo, Michigan for training. I'm going to go to a college where they're going to teach me foundry stuff. Nice. And it's all paid. I actually have the schedule. They sent me a schedule. I need to print all that stuff out because it's a lot. On Wednesday, though, so I leave June 23rd to go to Kalamazoo. I leave like that morning. So I'm going to get up at like 6 and take a shower, eat some breakfast, and leave. And drive to Kalamazoo, Michigan. Is that your brother?
No? Who is that? I have no idea. No, if you see a Dodge Avenger pull up, and that's my brother.
Of course it's a Dodge Avenger.
Yeah.
But anyway. So yeah, I'm gonna leave that morning. I actually have a trip thingy that I have to do tomorrow. I'm going up to like Fort Wayne tomorrow. I have to take my cousin to the doctor to get eye shots, which does not sound fun.
No.
I don't know if I'm going in with him, or if like I just sit in the car, or if I go like walking or something. I don't know what I'm gonna do while he's getting shots.
Sweetwater.
But he doesn't have a phone, so I don't know like when he'll be done or.
Probably ask one of the doctors or nurses or something.
I've never done this before, so I'm gonna ride with him. I have to be at his house by 9. I think he's gonna drive there.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna drive back. And when he says when he gets these eye shots, he can't see anything, like very well at all. Yeah. So it's gonna be me and my cousin in the passenger seat, blind, driving home from Fort Wayne tomorrow. It's gonna be so much fun. I'm totally not scared. But yeah, Kalamazoo. Yep. And then after that, I hopefully get a job at this factory that's paying for my training. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. I also want to continue doing YouTube stuff, continue doing music stuff, and when I get the money, I want to buy like a PC and do maybe like game design or something like that. Sometimes like stuff to just do on the side while I have this factory job and I'm able to do other things. I also want to move out of the house, which is going to be like the first thing I'm focused on. I also might have to buy a new car. Because mine is broken again.
Yay.
It's the same thing, they think. For a third time. So this time they bought a factory part, not an aftermarket part. So it's gonna cost more, but it's gonna be better because apparently my car just destroys aftermarket fuel pumps.
Huh.
So yeah, that'll be fun. But yeah, basically just work and then collect paychecks so I can move into an apartment or cheap house or something like that, and then go from there. Slowly build my empire. I mean, I would definitely like to try my hand at professional wrestling because that sounds like so much fun. And I would definitely be like work until I got enough money and then move to the south of Indiana where there's stuff like that I can do. And because they have an academy down there, and I'd be like, hey, live in my car or something. I want to buy a bus.
There's in Gilead, there's a big RV for sale. Right across from the Gilead store.
I have to go look at that.
It'd be really cool.
It would be really cool. I mean, an RV would be nice, but RVs tend to be a little bit more expensive.
Yeah.
I would love to buy a bus and make it into like my house or something.
Yeah.
That would be sick. Because then I could go down to the south of Indiana and be like, here, all I need is access to shower and bathroom, and I'm good.
You want my address?
My address? The big yellow bus, you see that? That's my address.
Yeah. No, I'll give you my license plate, I guess.
My license plate. If you want to find me, you have to take the number to the BMV, they'll put it into their system, and then they'll try and roughly find me from that type of stuff. It'll probably send you to my parents' house. But yeah, that would be fun. I would love to buy a bus.
Yeah.
And after I get this job and stuff, I really want to go talk to the guy in Macy who has a bus that just kind of sits there. Like, he gets it out every, twice a year or whatever, and, cleans it and stuff. And I'm like, I really, really want that bus. Because it's not a full-size bus, but it's not, a short bus.
Mm-hmm.
It's a medium bus. Yeah.
Oh, this bridge is hard to clean.
These are all my ambitions. This is my ambitions.
Yeah.
I have many ideas and stuff. Writing's another thing. I have so many things that I want to do that are exciting for me. Might not be exciting to other people, but yeah.
Yeah, I've got things too,
Yeah. You want to talk about those things now?
Try to while I'm doing this.
Or you beat the guitar with your fist. Deja vu. Yeah.
If the music thing doesn't work out for me, which you never know, I've always looked into voice acting and stuff like that, which I should definitely get that started sometime. Sending in auditions for stuff, but
I kept getting an ad or whatever. We were looking for voice actors on Instagram. Kept getting a thing
from Backstage.
I don't remember. It was a dog thingy.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
It kept popping up, and I was like, oh, what if I just did that just for funsies?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I got Backstage, but you have to do a subscription or anything if you want to apply to any job.
Rant time for me.
Yeah.
That is what I hate about this world.
Yeah.
Everything requires a subscription, not a one-time payment, not I'll pay this fee and then you're good. You own that thing, or this is your thing. Everything requires a subscription. Oh yeah, every month you're gonna pay $1,900 and your soul and this fiddle made of gold, so that you can do this one thing. It's ridiculous. It makes me so mad.
Yeah, that's why I use Lander.
Huh?
That's why I use Lander, because you don't have to do the subscriptions. You can just pay for it, one-time payment, and boom, you're good to go. It's up there forever.
Yeah. Also, speaking of music stuff,
Yes.
July 4th.
Uh-oh.
That is when when we plan. I haven't really talked to you about this. That is when we plan on releasing Security's next single.
Oh, okay.
Because it's very...
Next single?
The next single.
Okay. Because I was hoping you weren't going to try and make me do a full album.
No. Just
in a month.
Free Reign.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's very American, I guess. Kind of. Kind of.
I guess.
It's some sort of thing. Anyway.
I mean, yeah.
That's my plan. Is I should have that stuff to do that by then.
Okay.
I might release it like a couple days earlier. And then on July 4th be like, hey, it's out! Go check it! So be ready for Free Reign.
While we do that, we should probably make some promotional stuff for that in between.
Yeah, we have like a whole month. So today is just June 5th.
Really?
Yes.
Jeez. I was right about that whole month thing.
Yeah. So we literally have a whole month. So, yeah, that'll give us time. But yeah, remember, July 4th, it's Free Reign. Get to be American. Jam out to some epic guitar solos. And the most brutal singing I've ever done in my life. I honestly don't know how I did that. Like, I can still remember, like, the setting for that.
Hot room.
Oh my gosh, it was so hot. I was wearing a shirt that I had ripped down the middle, but the collar was still intact. So it was like I had the normal collar, but it was kind of like a vest with a collar on it. And I had the headphones on. And did we just do Born and Raised, I think, was the vocals for that?
Yeah.
We just
And then you're like, hey, I want to go over and do this.
Yeah, I was just like, we just finished that, and I was like, okay, go ahead, pull out Free Reign, and we're going to try something. I think the first take was just me screaming a bunch, just like yelling a lot. Just like, yeah! And then after the guitar solo, I'd gotten together, and I was like, okay, keep the part after the guitar solo, and then we'll go back through the beginning. Because I had adrenaline pumping. I was like jumping up and down. I was like, let's do this. I got this. I know what I'm gonna say. And Chris is just sitting on his amp watching me. We're watching us. Mm-hmm. And yeah, and I think 2 takes. I think is what it took. Well, 2 takes to get all the normal words. But then, like, the add-ons, like, right before the solo, that took a couple takes because I was like, well, what do I want to do here and stuff. Yeah. It felt so good to record that. Yeah. But it was just so, like, I was at my brother's house, Ethan, my brother, and he was on a lawnmower, and I was listening to music while doing something. And that song came on, and I was like, you know what the heck? Whoa. I said, you know, what the heck? And I went ahead and no, it wasn't even that. It was the one before that we put the vocals on it. So it was just the music. Huh. And so I was able to pull most of the song out from memory. Yeah. And be like, let's do this. And I sang it, and I was just standing there saying, I was like, how did I do this originally? Because it's just so nuts how raw that, how I just conjured that. Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of wish I did better on the guitar solo now, because a lot of people are saying it's it doesn't really go anywhere. I'm like, yeah.
Dude, I love the guitar solo. That's my favorite thing about that song.
But it's unlike any solos I've really done.
It's very bouncy. It's fast. It moves. It just matches the song. I love it. If that solo wasn't in that song wouldn't be. Wow, it's shiny.
It's so pretty. But yeah, I kind of wanted to re-record the drums on that. I wasn't, very well versed in mixing and recording drums then. Still not too much now, but
didn't you record the drums at the school? We had the whole setup or whatever.
I did, yeah.
Did that take 2 separate days to do? We set it up one day and
I left it up for 2 days because I just wanted to do different stuff with it. Yeah. Recorded.
Did you do Splinters? I think you did Splinters.
I did Splinters, I did Scratch, I did the Security Opener, I did Free Reign, I did Born and Raised.
That's nuts. Just bam, bam. But that's like a studio stuff. Like, okay, we're just going to go through, record drums for this, and this. I want to get in a studio.
Me too.
That would be so much fun. Like, leave us alone for like 5 or 6 hours, like a full day.
That's why we got to get more performances, because, you know, you never know who might come to these things, and you'll see it and be like, hey. And we're like, yes.
And see, like, that's definitely why I want to become like a member of STIT, because you guys get so many more live performances than Security. Because Security, sad news to everybody, but Security is dying.
Yeah.
Security is losing all its members. They're going to college and all kinds of stuff, and
people just haven't really had that motivation.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I really, really love making music and doing stuff musically. Like, without music, I would have never learned to play the drums. Would have never done anything at all. And I want to do more music things. It just feels so good to play music. Except for the last talent show. That was miserable. We'll get to that later, but that was miserable. But before we do that, go ahead and finish what you were talking about.
What was I talking about?
You were talking about voice acting. You said something about the subscriptions.
Way back.
I was just like, subscriptions. And then we went around.
I don't mind talking about band stuff. You know, that's cool.
Man.
Graduation, I did a drum solo for Caravan.
Oh my gosh, it was so good. It was beautiful.
It's great. I thought it was going to be 4 or 5 minutes long. It was only really like 3.
Yeah, and people were complaining to me, man, that solo was really long. I was like, dude, it was amazing. It doesn't matter. And my mom was like, well, this graduation wasn't about him. I was like, okay, but this is like the only solo Ethan has gotten in the past 2 years that was like anything to like, that stood out really. And Brady was like, well, he got the national anthem. I was like, that doesn't count. That's not a national anthem. It's not really a solo. It's more of a just like, yeah, I played this on my guitar.
Why does it seem like nobody can comprehend the fact that I'm pursuing my career?
I don't know.
Like, literally. This is why Indiana is not my audience.
Yeah. Everybody, like, it's just so weird because everyone's just like, well, you can't make a living out of that. I was like, but people do every day.
Yeah. People do with like so many things every day.
It's like, oh yeah, I want to do this. I want to do this. Well, you have to get a real job first to get all this. And
like, but yeah, but like, doesn't mean it's never going to happen, because like, just because you never could do it, you probably never even tried.
Yeah.
People don't get it. And I think we're the ones who don't get it.
Yeah. Like, because when I stopped playing football, right? Or my senior year, I didn't play. And my parents were like, you keep quitting everything. You keep quitting. You got to, because I stopped doing FFA. I stopped doing a lot of things. Mm-hmm. And then like football, I was like, I don't really want to play football. That's because the stuff that I want to do has changed. I played football from 7th grade all the way to junior year. Mm. And I was burnt out. I didn't want to play. I was just like, yeah, it'd be fun to play, but like the practices just take so much. It's so much time that I want to do other things. And it's just, and I hate it when people are like, oh, you quit. What are you?
My brother just sent me a text that said what?
What?
He said, I signed you up for a fireworks raffle, by the way. They said if you win, you'll get a phone call on July 4th.
Dude, your brother is the ultimate side character. Like,
yeah.
Bro went to like Mount Rushmore, to Alaska, back to Indiana. He biked halfway across America. He's going to Death Valley now. He's insane. That is what I call living to your full potential.
Yeah.
We need more people like your brother. Mm-hmm. More dreamers. People are like, the doers do everything. Yes, but the people who get silenced. The dreamers who get silenced because the doers are like, you got to do this to achieve your dreams. They get silenced and they never get to do what they want. It's nuts. Oh, Mr. Leach called me.
Yeah, he called everybody.
Yeah, you want to know how he got your phone number?
Oh, I know. He told me.
Oh, let's just say, he asked me if I could give you your phone number, and I was like, here it is.
You want to know who called first?
Who?
My dad. Because that was the number on Alma.
Oh.
That's my dad's phone number.
And
so here's an interesting little thing: is that he called my dad. Kevin's side of the story was that he asked my dad, he got on the phone and he said, "Is this Ethan?" And Kevin thought my dad said yes. And then he starts asking him questions about work and stuff like that. And then he goes like, "So where are you working at?" It was like, "What do you need to know?" It was like, it's like saying stuff like that. And Kevin was like, "Okay, I'm not wasting my time. I'm not doing this." And then because he realized that it was my dad. And then yeah, probably asked you for my number. And then my dad comes home. He's like, "Hey, yeah, Kevin called me, and he said that he's interrogating him." He the way he told me, the way my dad told me the conversation went was he said, "Well, he had Kevin ask, 'Is this Ethan?" And then my dad said, he told me that he said that, "No, Ethan's at home. I'm at work right now." And then he starts asking the questions. And then my dad goes on saying that he's interrogating him and stuff like that. I don't know why my dad and Kevin will never ever have a good relationship.
I was gonna say, you have to remember, your dad does not like Mr. Leach.
I know.
Like that whole thing, wasn't it just like a signature? Like he needed the paper signed or whatever, and your dad was like, "No, I refuse to do it."
And also what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. I totally lost track because I looked at the guitar and I was like, "Oh, there's stuff there," and I was like, "Oh, no, I lost track."
So you're talking about your dad, and Mr. Leach.
Yeah, I know that. But I was gonna say something adding on to that. Oh yeah, I wanted to invite Mr. Leach to the grad party, but I don't know how that would turn out.
Dude, so I was going to invite him to mine, but he told me don't because he couldn't come because his daughter's birthday was that same weekend. They were celebrating it. Mm-hmm. So he made a joke about that. He's like, "Oh, should have invited me." I was like, "You told me not to. You said it was a waste of invitations." Yeah, I don't think I would invite Mr. Leach to
yeah, I know.
Because
I thought about it.
Your dad, man. That's so funny.
Funny though.
It would be so funny. "Oh, hey, Mr. Johnson, how's it going? I'm Kevin Leach." "You're who?"
Step outside of the thing.
Dude, I think Mr. Leach could take your dad. He was in the military, dude.
Military, interrogation, he was a detective, everything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, my dad also said that he does not want me to give any information about him to Mr. Leach. And I was like, I wasn't planning on it anyway.
He wasn't asking you about your information. He was asking me for my information. So your dad is similar to Matthew and Matthew's dad. They're so suspicious of anybody asking them for literally anything.
Mm.
Like Matthew, if you ask him if he has guns or something like that, like, "Oh, what type of guns do you have?" "Guns? I don't have any guns. What are you talking about? I don't have guns." That's the way Matthew reacts. So it's like, dude, I'm not the government. I'm your friend. I'm just asking you, like, "Oh, you got a 22, a shotgun?" And he's like, "I don't have any guns. I don't know what you're talking about."
Huh.
It's ridiculous. And then, Chris and Matthew will never sign anything. Like, they're like, "Why do I need to sign this? I'm not going to sign this. You can't make me sign this." And I'm like, "Dude, it's not that big of a deal." They have to literally be talked to. Like Matthew?
Yeah.
Matthew didn't even order a...
cap and gown?
Yeah, cap and gown.
Dang.
I had to go and talk to Mrs. Cavage to figure out where he could get a cap and gown for graduation. And that was only after I told him, I was like, you will not graduate if you do not have a cap and gown. They will not let you walk.
Dang. Aiden DeVilla almost did not walk.
Oh my god, yes, dude. That was ridiculous.
If you're listening to this podcast, which I highly doubt it, hi.
Yeah, that was insane. It was I think it was his birthday.
Yeah, something like that.
Is what I heard from, I'm not a friend of his, but I heard from other people when we were taking the picture, it's his birthday, he's not here. I also think it was very rude of them to assume that Willow Tubb was not there. They're like,
Really?
because like,
I don't remember
all three of them are like, is Willow here? Well, they were talking amongst themselves. I just happened to be listening. But like, they were talking like, is Willow here? Is Willow Tubb here? Is Willow here? I'm like, yeah, she's just up there. What the heck? Close your eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you ready to talk about the talent shows?
Yeah.
Okay. Take a trip with me back to 3 years ago. Security.
Sophomore year?
Yeah, sophomore year.
Goodness.
Security had been struggling for a little bit. We were trying to figure out stuff, and then we eventually. This is earlier. This isn't May. This is. We'll start January-ish, I guess you could say. We kind of had been, like, I had talked to you. I was like, I would like some more members for security. It'd be cool. We could get more people in security. It's kind of my whole fault that that anything really happened with those people, whether they be good or bad. Because I was just like, oh yeah, we should have more members in security. It'd be so much more fun.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we started with. Because we talked to Lucas. It was at like one of Lucas's parties or whatever.
Yeah.
Because we were working on Summer Symphony, which I still have the words to.
Oh my goodness.
And he was like, "Oh yeah, it'd be really cool if I could join you." And he ended up being our keyboardist or pianist,
Penis.
playing the keyboards. And then Chris, who had been playing for about a year, probably. I think. Chris,
for a few months.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He'd been playing, for a few months, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that sounds like fun. Let me do it." And then Matthew was kind of like, "Oh, Lucas and Chris are there. Let me join too." We were like, "What are you gonna play?" He's like, "Guitar. I want to play guitar." And then we managed to convince Alex to come back because he left because nothing was happening.
Yeah, that's true.
And so we were like, "Hey, Alex, you want to come back and play guitar with us?" And he was just like, "Oh yeah, stuff's happening. Sure." So that was we were working on stuff. We had about 2 major practices before we started. Well, oh my gosh, darts was made that year.
Yeah.
So that means, oh my gosh, January 1st.
At like 1
in the morning. I'm that's the only bass line I've ever wrote that actually got used for a song that's not even used anymore. And we worked together and we made the guitar part and bass part for Darts on the Wall.
Yeah.
Which is just nuts to think about.
And then...
Because that's the song we played for...
Yeah, I think back in like February, May, March is when I started writing the guitar solo and lyrics for it. Oh, and then we had that like first one of our first meetings at your house.
Yeah, and Alex wasn't there because he had the group chat muted or something like that.
Sounds about right.
And we were like, "Oh, Alex isn't here." Because he didn't know. He just didn't know that we were having a practice. But then the next one, after that first practice, was more like a get together and know each other more.
Yeah.
And then the next one was at Lucas's house. And we did a bunch of recordings for darts. I still have all those. Like, we could do a thing on YouTube where we release those, like, deep tracks, deep cuts of darts and stuff like that because I have all that stuff. It's very interesting, like to go back and listen to.
I think I still have a lot of that stuff on the laptop as well, or at least Google Drive.
Yeah, so we could definitely do that. That would be fun. But then.
Yeah, go on.
But then, was it the week leading up to Warriorama? Is that when we got Luke Spencer, or you got something before that?
We need to back up a little bit.
That's it.
That was probably your first. No. Hang on. Because we'd written "Show Your Love."
Oh,
that was we performed that before CIY.
Yeah, you wrote "Show Your Love."
Right,
I didn't do jack squat for that song, except sing it. That was it. But yeah, we chose to sing "Show Your Love" for the talent show.
Together, just the
and that was that was the day of that we decided to do that. I think.
Which is weird.
We were just like, let's do "Show Your Love," and so we talked to Wessels, and she was like, "Yeah, sure, I don't care." But yeah, I think the week of, we talked to Luke Spencer, and we're like, "Hey, can you play drums for us? Like, we need you to play drums because we have people here because Matthew couldn't make it because Matthew had to go to his sister's softball game because his dad had made him go for some reason." And then, so yeah, the original lineup for the talent show was me on vocals, Ethan on lead guitar. He was playing his double neck because he'd had an accident with his Strat.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah. Chris was playing bass. Alex was he playing the hollow body?
Yes, he was playing the hollow body and the tiny little Ibanez amp.
Yeah. And Lucas was using a keyboard from the band room that was also on an amp that wasn't... Well, no, he was using the keyboard amp, that big keyboard amp. Wasn't he?
Chris was using that. He was using your bass amp.
Oh, that's right. Yep. And that was the setup. And that video's out on YouTube.
Did you say Luke Spencer playing the...
Oh, yeah, Luke Spencer playing the drums.
School's drum kit.
Yeah, school. I got to take this... camera is very, very hot. Whoops. This little camera is like on fire. Why are you on fire? I am holding a little action camera in a Queso Brave 4 Pro. It was extremely cheap, but man, I've never really gotten it to work. I don't know if it was like on or something. It's very warm, but I kept feeling my leg get warmer and warmer, and I was like, "What's happening?" But yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, Luke Spencer on the school drums.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should probably release Darts in the Wall live performance onto the band thing because it's on my YouTube channel, not on the band's YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And I don't think we have the second performance either. The second talent show performance.
Yeah. Wait.
I don't think that's on there. But anyway.
We'll back up a little bit. Audition Wednesday before we did the show.
I think
Friday.
Yeah, I think it was on Friday.
We went through it. We had to restart a couple of times because it was not going well.
Yeah.
I don't remember who was on what's it or.
As I said, I must say again, we didn't have a full band together until the week before when we got Luke for the drums. Mm-hmm. Luke had no idea what he was doing. He had a slight gist of what to play on drums, but
Yeah. And if I had gotten better skill with GarageBand, I probably would have helped out a lot more. Like sending him tracks and stuff like that.
But yeah. So that whole week we practiced, and like we would practice during lunch. So I don't even know if I ate lunch. Because we would just be like, okay, we need to go practice. And we would set up, and then people would come down and stand in the hallway door as we were just like practicing. And that's what really made me want to play drums. Is that moment right there. Because people would come in, they would see, Luke on drums.
And keep in mind,
You are-
they've never like seen us or heard
Yeah.
us play any of these instruments before.
Yeah. And it's Luke Spencer on drums, you on guitar, Chris on bass, Alex on electric guitar, and I don't know if Lucas was there. Lucas may have been just kind of standing there or something I don't know. But, and then it was just me, kind of like, just jamming, kind of like head bobbing. And so I probably looked like a groupie to them. And then I just felt like, I was like, man, I really wish people could see me like doing something other than just kind of walking around while they're like practicing this. And that's what really pushed me to like, I really want to pick up an instrument. I want to do something with an instrument.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love the drums. The drums sound so cool. And it that was something I wanted to do so bad, which is not just be just standing there.
Yeah, and you did want to. At one point, we talked about getting some sort of guitar for you, so you can do rhythm guitar when you sing and stuff like that.
Yeah. That never happened, but it still could happen.
Yeah.
I do have a guitar. It's just not functional.
One of these days, we'll get that.
Yeah. I just need a new neck for a guitar.
Steal this one.
If you look on the back, it matches. Stevie would be so mad.
Yeah.
Man.
The neck's looking pretty.
So then, kind of after that, nothing really happened. We didn't really do anything for a bunch of that time. Until the homecoming week of... Okay, rewind. If you... I want to do a series on this podcast, just doing the Derringer Radio Show, where I kind of just go through the history of security and everything, in depth, everything, like all kinds of stuff. Bring other people and talk about it and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, that pep session. There is I forgot the first thing we ever posted on the YouTube channel was the rehearsal for that.
Yeah, but I remembered something because during that time we didn't just do nothing. But to explain what's happening during that, I have to go back before the talent show. So, this is when Evan Scotto first enters the picture. Like, the couple weeks before the talent show, we're kind of discussing what we're going to do. Because we want to perform, but we don't know what we're going to do. And we had discussed doing an original song, but, like, there was other people in the group that were like, well, we should cover a song. That'd be cool, too. And I may have said, well, okay, I didn't say Metallica sucked. I said... not everything is about Metallica. And that's when people lost their minds. And went totally off the hook. And that's kind of where all the drama in the band started. Was from that little moment. It's when Evan and I became enemies for life. And it just kind of, everything just kind of went downhill from there for drama-wise. It was bad. And, yeah. But to get... So that's a very... very broad explanation of what the beginning of that was like. So after the talent show, in between that and the pep session, stuff has gone very downhill for the friend group.
Oh, yeah.
Because I get called into the guidance office because someone has started a rumor that I said something, or that I was doing this. I'm not going to say what it is because it's horrible. And I would never do this thing. And I was pretty sure who I knew had started that rumor. And, like, Podcast Nation fell apart at this time. Like, our friend group fell apart. It was really bad. And it was all because of one person. And that one person is Lucas Floyd. Lucas Floyd single-handedly destroyed our friend group, Podcast Nation, and almost just took the band with it. Or most of the band. It was a horrible time for our friend group. I would consider it the Dark Ages. If I had a word to, like, a phrase to explain the time before that, the Golden Ages. And then we hit the Dark Ages.
Yeah.
And it was just a horrible time. Lots of stuff was said. And you could see the cracks of, like, just in everything. The bond of our friend group was starting to fall apart. It was really, really bad. And yeah, it just got really, really bad. And then when were you offered to play? When was the band offered to play for the not talent show, for the pep session?
I feel like it was like a few weeks before. I don't remember when.
Because you came up to me and you were just like, I don't know if you told me in person or text message. I think it was in person. You were like, hey, we just got offered to like play for the school pep session. Like, and we were totally ecstatic.
Yes.
We were super hyped. And this is like the first big thing our band has been able to like talk about at all. We're just like, oh yeah, I can't wait. So yeah, we're doing this and we're getting ready. Like for the couple weeks, we're starting to like brainstorm of what we want to play. And we're like, well, we want to play darts. And then we're like, we want to play Show Your Love, which Ethan and I had performed after we got overlooked at CIY. We still performed it, but we got... I'm just going to say overlooked, because that just still makes me angry. Slighted. We got slighted. Slighted.
I know.
It was...
But hey, I'm pretty sure we're going to Bowling Green, Ohio, because it doesn't have that guy. I have a feeling that the reason we're not going to Holland anymore is because that guy's still there. And nobody at CIY liked him, so...
Yeah, not a good guy. Once again, when I get this series up and running and stuff, I will go more in depth about all musical stuff that we've done. But this is just the overview. So we decided that we wanted to do Show Your Love, which Ethan and I had performed before, and we were like, oh yeah, that'd be cool if we could play that for the school. And then how did Born and Raised get even?
Well, we just had those two songs. We're like, why don't we do another one or something? And like, well, we could do a cover of a song. Like, well, we got to do all these songs. Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap came up.
Oh yeah, that's right. And then your dad brought up the thing, like, the part of it was like trying to get your principal in the bed to sleep with.
No, killing your principal.
Oh, killing the principal? Anyway, so that was... But was it a jam session that came from?
Yeah, I think it was partially a jam session, but also like I was just sitting. I think I was actually just sitting there with my guitar, and I just like wrote it out right there. And we wrote it the week before the pep session.
It's also the week that Sunkissed came into thing too.
And also the week that pretty much things started getting really close to the end and falling out with Lucas being in the band.
Oh yeah,
because during those rehearsals, he was there.
Well, okay. Well, for the first, so that whole week before, so Friday was like the performance. We had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday was a rehearsal at the school that we were gonna do, and then Friday was performance. Monday and Tuesday, Lucas did not show up, and I was ticked.
I mean, he had reasons to.
Well, yeah, but throughout this time, he had not been providing a lot of stuff for the band at all whatsoever. And plus, on top of all the other drama that he had been causing and everything, it was just, I was done. And I was at the point where it's just like, okay, something needs to change. Because it is just destroying us all. And Wednesday's practice, he actually showed up, and I just ignored him, and he left. He actually didn't stay for practice, and he left. And Ethan did the infamous act of being so angry that he threw a drumstick, and it went through a door. It got stuck in the door.
Yes.
Because of how angry he was.
And I believe that hole is still there.
It is still there, yes. And, yeah, I think that's when everyone else was like, okay, this actually does need to change. So, was it... No, it had to be... Because it had to be... He didn't show up for Tuesday's practice, because Wednesday we voted him out. We got together and we did... Because I had that recording, too, where we voted him out of the band. We did a vote thing. And then he wouldn't listen to us to say that he got kicked out of the band and everything. And he's like, I'm still a part of the band. No. And it was really bad. And then Thursday, he showed up and just kind of sat there. Didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Did absolutely jack nothing.
I think he left part of the way, but...
Oh, yeah. He left halfway through the rehearsal.
Well, I thought we... I don't remember. I have worries for this bridge again. I'm not going to turn it up yet.
But yeah. So, it comes to Friday. It's game day. Like, I'm nervous. I'm kind of dressed up. I'm wearing my security shirt, I think, with my black dress shirt over. I'm wearing my hat and everything. We're all nervous, I think. Because we're just like, okay, how is this going to be? Everything. We also brought Luke Spencer back to play drums for darts. I do remember that. I don't know if he was at rehearsal or not. I don't really remember. I think he was there for early at rehearsal, but then left. I don't know exactly. But yeah. So, yeah, we get up there, we get everything all set up. Or most of it was already set up from the night before. But we go, and we thought, originally the plan was to do all 3 songs all at once. But the person who was running the thing, which was a person that I do not like, who thought they ran the school, which in fact they did not. I think that was the only year that was the year that they were there, and it was the only year that they were there, and yeah, they're just not a good person. But they were running it, and yeah, then they were like, Mrs. Moreland was like, okay, we need you to split your songs up, because for some reason something wasn't right with the time. They were like, okay, we got to do this, and then you guys can do this, but then we have to do. And I thought we were going to be like doing a thing where we play in the background, not where they would take a moment for us to actually play like it was an actual live performance. Mm-hmm. And so...
did not explain that day. It's so frustrating, but yeah.
Yeah. But, so we did darts, and then we just stopped. And so our plan was to do Show Your Love, and then we were just going to do Born and Raised. And... I don't think the person who was running the thing knew that we had 2 more songs. Yeah. And you could tell that something was wrong with what they were doing with their schedule was all sorts of screwed up. Like their timing and everything. And so when they handed it back to us, back to the band security, we're like, okay, we're going to do Show Your Love, which we had to restart.
Yeah, you see, so at the time, we didn't really have anybody who knew Show Your Love very well. So I was on guitar and drum set. So I opened up the song with Braxton playing guitar, sitting at the drum set. And I messed up because I totally forgot. I don't know what was going on, but something happened. So I was like, yep, let's try this again.
Yeah. And so we restarted. People turned on their cameras and stuff. And I totally wrecked my voice because that song... At that point in time, I was really, really struggling on how to sing that song because I'd either be too low or too high. I sang that song way too high, and I was just like, I'm singing this way too high, but we've already screwed up once. I'm not restarting it again. We're going to just go through it. So I pushed through the pain, and we did that. And then we ended, and I turned to the guys, and I was like, okay, let's do this. Born and Raised right now. I remember this very clearly because I was like, I finished. And then I turned to like Chris was right there and Alex was right there and Matthew and everybody. And I was just like, okay, we have to go. Go, 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 go. And so we kick it up to another song. We kick it up to Born and Raised. And yeah, Ethan's got the drum running and everything. And oh my gosh, I'm getting excited just sitting here. It felt so good. It just felt, we had this song that was so different from the other songs that we had already played that we were ready to just rock it. I took my hat off, I ruffled my hair all up, like, I was ready to go nuts. And yeah, we were having so much fun. It was like, we were singing the song and everything. 2/3 the way through the song.
Well, we're doing the part where we're giving it up to the band.
Oh yeah.
And that's mainly where it is. And
I thought it was before that.
No. Because it was when we were starting to do the last chorus.
Okay. But yeah, so we're starting to give it up to the band. I'm like, oh yeah, this person on this, and this person on this, and blah, blah. And they start signaling that we need to stop playing. Like, hey, you've had your time to shine, stop. And at this point, I am ticked off. Because, one, they've already made us change what we originally wanted to do. They're trying to make us change again, and now they're trying to cut us off.
I didn't see anything that was going on, so I just kept going.
Ethan had no idea.
Well, actually, I did have some idea. I did see the lady waving, and I was like, we're almost done. Let's keep going.
And so I'm like looking at everybody. I'm like, we're not stopping. We're not stopping. And I go, one more time. And everybody's like, stop playing. And so we finished it. And we're looking at each other as we finish the song. We're like, oh my gosh, are we getting in trouble? Like, this is the coolest thing. It's like, and at that point, I just did not care if we got in trouble. I just didn't. I was like, I just had a heck of a time. Just like,
it was like the Beatles playing on the roof concert, you know?
Yeah, it was. It just felt so good, and like I just remember people being like, "Oh yeah, Mr. Wilson said like should have just turned the power off on him." I was like, "Dude,
yeah, I heard him say that."
There's no, that doesn't even make any sense. For once, like, why would you turn the power off? And like for second of all, you guys screwed up your own schedule. You changed this once, tried to change this again. At this point, I'm just not going to conform to what you're saying because you don't even know what you're doing. I can say this stuff now. I don't go to North Miami anymore. That person who was there that was running that doesn't even work there anymore. I don't care. It just made me so mad that, like, things change and people try to make you, but hey, do this, do this, do this. Well, you can only jump so far. So high, you can only run so far, you can only do so many things before you're like, well, I'm just going to do this whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that finished the thing. And I told the other guys, I was like, we're never performing here for a pep session or anything like that ever again.
Believe it or not, we got asked a year afterwards, at least, or maybe it was this year.
To do what?
Pep session again. And I was like, we're not going to do that again.
Wait, somebody asked you?
Yeah. Zeph when he was class president. I'm pretty sure. Or maybe that was... Maybe it was Zeph. I don't remember who it was.
He would have been juniors, yeah.
So...
Yeah. I didn't know that. Yeah. I'm glad you said no. Because I was like, I told all the guys, I was like, we're not doing that again. They don't know what they're doing, and since they don't know what they're doing, I don't want to do it.
No, we did have something. I think it was before all of that. When we were doing something similar to that, it was when I was playing guitar.
Oh, the back of your head, yes.
Chris on bass.
Yeah, Luke Spencer on drums, I think.
Yeah.
That was cool.
And the rest of the band sitting and watching.
Yeah, we were just kind of like hanging out. That was when the seniors they did that kickball thing inside. Mm-hmm. That was pretty fun. That was cool. I think that's what led them to being like, "Hey, you guys want to play for?"
Yeah.
And that's why I thought I was like, "Oh, it'll be similar to that where we play, and they just do stuff."
So much more freedom. Play whatever songs you want.
Yeah, like
people don't really care. They like the music in the background, but they're not like...
Yeah, it was... Yeah. See, that's what I've realized lately is that people need to explain things more. They just ask you to do stuff and you're like, okay, what are we doing? What is this? What are we doing? Like, I don't understand. You need to explain it so that I understand. So that's happened a lot lately for me. So I'm just like, could you explain it? I just did. No, you didn't. You said something that didn't make sense. And I need you to explain it again so it does make sense for me. Man. And then we kind of... Well, no, we didn't just stop doing stuff after that. We started to have more, like, practices over the summer and stuff like that. We as a band started doing things.
We were so close to doing Denver Days.
Oh my gosh, yes. We actually... I kind of wish we'd been able to do that. That would have been so much fun.
Yeah... It's just, we just didn't have the right people, you know?
Yeah. yo, Stit, hey.
I know, yeah.
Hey.
I talked to them about it. They never really acknowledged it.
Who?
Stit.
Oh. Dude, I just want to be a part of Stit so bad. I feel like as soon as security's like finished or whatever, I'm just gonna be sitting in a dark hole, just like, oh, just sit here, eat music stuff, yay. I don't want to be forgotten. I want to do things too. But yeah, so we actually we got really close to Denver Days. We made that video, the promotional video or whatever.
Infamous promo video.
Oh wait, no, that was just the pep session. We didn't even get to the talent show.
Yeah.
I totally skipped over that. That was even first semester. So yeah, we didn't. But yeah, we didn't stop doing things. We actually released a single, the first ever security single ever, Scratch. We released Scratch that February after the prep session.
Yeah. We'll back up on that a little bit. So yeah, February, I'm sitting and playing with this little idea that I've had for a bit, or at least this kind of, this is idea I've had, and I was like, finally plucking it out, and I was like, oh, I have a verse, a chord progression, and I started putting it all together and everything on GarageBand, and I made it, and I was like, okay, now what the heck is the vocal's gonna sound like? And I was like, and I think even at that moment, I got scared, or I jumped because I heard the sound of that little mouse or something that was living in my walls, and I was like, all right.
I will also say that was when you were starting to get into grunge a lot more too.
Oh yeah.
That was when you really started like, hey, I've been listening to this, and you were showing it to me, and I was like, oh, cool. I don't know what to do with this.
I think one of the first grunge songs I showed you was probably, it's probably Rooster.
Yeah.
Rooster, Man in the Box, Wood. It's probably Alice in Chains stuff.
Yeah.
And then I started getting into Pearl Jam too. So yeah, I went from Soundgarden to Alice in Chains to Pearl Jam.
I remember the first time you ever showed me Sludge Factory, and I hated it.
Yep. I hated it the first time I listened to it.
I love the song now.
Yeah, me too.
But I hated it, dude. I was like, it sounds so wrong. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But at that time, I was not a big fan of grunge in general. Mm-hmm. I was just like, yeah, a couple of these songs sound good, but I don't even know what this is.
We'll back up a little further on my grunge backstory. CIY one year, we were all cleaning up, and I heard this song that sounded really interesting. And it was none other than Black Hole Sun by Soundgarden. My brother was listening to it, and I was like, oh, this is interesting.
Which is the weirdest thing for me to think of, like, oh, your brother was listening to grunge. That doesn't seem like a very Lonnie thing to do.
I think it was just that one song. He hasn't really listened to much Soundgarden. But yeah,
He's having guitar struggles.
But after that, I had Scout Camp. And I was like, okay, this song is interesting, so I'm going to listen to it a little bit more. And I listened to it, and again, and again, and again, and again, plus the new Billie Eilish song that came out. And I kept listening to that again and again, and it was great, I loved it. So later on, I decided to check out some more Soundgarden, and...
Now, real quick, before he got into Soundgarden stuff, he still is, but he was a very big Queen guy.
Yeah.
So
this was actually after that. This was kind of. Oh boy.
What?
This B string might break, which is okay because I should have another one. Should.
But Ethan's music taste was similar to mine before grunge. Which was why I was so against the grunge music, because I was like, oh, it's not really what I listen to or whatever. But look at me now. I listen to that stuff too.
Grunge head. Anyway, but yeah.
Yeah.
One of these days when they have those concerts back here again, you gotta show up this time.
Oh my gosh, yes, I will, because I knew most of the songs that they played.
No, they even whipped out Tool.
I know, that I would have loved to see. I love Tool. I love Tool. I didn't know what to think about Tool when I first heard it, But I love Tool.
You got into that a lot faster than you did with.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Because I think the grunge definitely helps.
Oh yes. But it was. I don't know. There's just something about Tool that just like. Oh, I want it.
And I actually had a little bit of some Tool history back when I was like pretty young, like maybe like 4 or 5.
Yeah, you said something about that.
Because my dad had this video of like these, like this really big high school or something like that. They made a whole video. I'll have to show it to you or something. And they played 46 and 2, and that song has just always been, you know, with me. And then I heard it, like, I'd hear it like during weights, and I'm like, man, I need to listen to this song again. And Tool happened.
Tool happened.
Anyway, back to grunge.
I need a shirt that says Tool happened.
Yeah, but yeah, back to the grunge stuff. Real quickly. So yeah,
Scratch.
well, we're not there. Just quick progression. Yeah, it got to a point where I was like stuck on Chris Cornell, and nobody else, and literally, instead of doing algebra, a lot of why I wasn't was barely passing was because I was just looking for new songs. Like I listened to Soundgarden, I listened to Audio Slave, and all the solo stuff. I was also, yeah, but I would do that, and then eventually it came to June or July when I found. I heard the song Rooster every now and then in weights, and I was like, okay, let's listen to this. And I was like, Alice in Chains, pretty cool. Listen to the Dirt album. I was like, dang, this is great. Man in the Box, this is amazing. I was obsessed with that for a while. Then I was like, okay, well, Even Flow is pretty popular right now because of the Jesus Christ meme, the skating Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let's give these guys a try. Oh my gosh, I love Even Flow. Let's listen to the entirety of the 10 album.
Oh yeah, such a good album. Favorite Pearl Jam album.
And the first song I showed you was Once.
Once upon a time,
which is great.
I could love you.
And I think there was also Deep and Alive, and those were those I showed you, and then pretty much the whole 10 album after that. And then yeah. But I think Scratch was before I got into Pearl Jam.
Yeah, because they released that album Dark Matter that summer, that May.
Yeah.
Before the talent show, and because you were showing me their song Dark Matter and Running.
I think it was actually March or February. Like they started putting stuff out when Scratch was getting ready to be released.
I thought it came out. The album came out in May. I thought.
Maybe.
I thought it did. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think it came out in May.
Because I remember you showing me and being like, well, the album does not out yet.
They released the first song, Dark Matter. They released the Dark Matter single on February. It's like, new Pearl Jam!
Yeah.
Whoa!
I love the song Running.
Yeah, the Running was next after that, which is great because I was still in track. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Scratch. I wrote that. I showed it to you as soon as possible, and the rest of the guys like, okay.
Well, you literally messaged me. I think the day of that you wrote it. You're like, I just wrote an entire song by myself. Yeah. I was just like, cool. Like
guitar, drums, bass line, everything, intro part, guitar solo, all on that single day, like 3 hours before a Pet Band game.
Yep.
And it was great.
Pretty
and
radical.
I was like, okay. And I brought it up to the guys in the band, and I was like, let's do this one first. Since it's here, it's ready.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We at that point in time we were like, okay, it's either gonna be Darts or Show Your Love that we released first. Which, funnily enough, neither of those songs are released yet.
And they're nowhere near that point.
Yeah.
Which is okay because because it's kind of like how Alice in Chains, they've written. They had Rooster written when they released Facelift, which is their first album, and then an EP and an album later they released it. as a full song. So
so we released that, and then we wanted to we were gonna do the talent show, and we actually did a video that is on the YouTube channel, kind of like a promotional video, sort of, kind of discussing what we wanted to do, which that was such a fun video to film. And so we were just like, okay, we should do that. And then we were like, okay, we should do Scratch for the talent show. And it's at this point that I started to play drums around this time. Because what?
I'm hearing really scary sounds from these strings. Keep talking. I want to focus on something else.
Yeah, I started playing drums because we needed someone to play drums for Scratch. Because Ethan was like, well, I can play drums, but I really, really would like to just sing the song that I wrote. And so I was like, oh, yeah, that'd be cool. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what you
I'm just trying to think about, but also Matthew said he was going to be there, so I wanted to give him something to do.
Oh, yeah. And you gave him the solo or whatever. Didn't you? Yeah. And yeah, did you even play an instrument during that Scratch?
Nope.
I didn't think so.
I was out talking out front, and then you guys started it without me.
Because that's what you wanted.
Well, not without
me. I was gonna say, you told us to do that.
Yeah.
And that was a cool that was a cool market, like a cool event that happened. We were like, oh yeah, we have enough people who know what they're doing that we can have a lead singer who doesn't have to have an instrument. And that was a cool thing for security. Ethan, stop making those faces. I'm so afraid that I'm gonna get hit by something.
You probably won't. Probably.
But yeah. Ethan's tuning a guitar right now, if that's what you're wondering what those noises are, and he keeps making faces as he tunes them, and I'm very afraid.
For those guitar players, it's just that when you're tuning up, and then you start feeling more and more tension in the tuner as you're starting to get up to the note. It's even worse when you're not even close to it yet, and it's still giving you a lot of extra tension.
It is very warm in here.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so I started learning drums.
So this is the high E. This is the one. This is the moment of truth right here. We still got to go up a full step. We're safe for now.
I'm afraid I was just afraid to say anything.
Okay.
But I feel like when you get a pack of guitar strings,
this bridge is doing that thing again. But yeah.
I feel like when you buy a pack of guitar strings, it should come with 2 high E strings. That way, hey, if you break one, here's an extra one. Be careful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I started learning to play drums to play Scratch, which is a different version of the drums that Ethan had recorded. Because Ethan is a god on drums, and the interesting fill that he did, I just couldn't do. So.
Which one?
You went it was very interesting.
Hang on. Just listen real quick. There's a drum set back over here.
Oh boy. I don't know how well this is going to be picked up.
Probably pretty well. Probably that, Phil.
Yeah, that one. I couldn't do that one. The
I yoinked that one from Sean Kinney.
But yeah, I could not do that, so I had to come up with my own thing, which it turned out good. I was able to find a thing where I could just be like, okay. But yeah, so I was like, okay, no one's ever seen me play drums before. This will be interesting. So we performed. We did our thing. I don't think we really... Well, wait a second. I remember now. I was about to say, I don't think anything went wrong on that talent show. It did. Something went wrong at that talent show. But we play through Scratch flawlessly.
Pretty much.
Well,
The fact that I can't hear myself.
Yeah, the vocals. In the beginning, the vocals weren't very good. Microphone stuff.
But people up front said that they could hear me, and I was projecting good, so.
So yeah, but so we did that, and then we did our interesting change between the thing, and then we went into Born and Raised, which had been performed live, but not in front of an audience full of our parents. So we were like, yeah, let's do this, and we did it. Our problem that arrived happened. Oh, I just remembered something. Doesn't matter right now, but I just remembered something about music. It's not important. It is kind of important to our story, but not anymore. But as I was introducing on whoever everyone was, Chris had been having troubles with his amp, and like it would just cut out at random times. So we were like, "Yeah, use that amp," and just use the amp, and we'll just run with it. And in the middle of our performance, his amp shut off, just stopped working. Mm-hmm. And so Chris was supposed to be the one to introduce me as the lead singer and like go for us to sing the chorus one more time and end the song. But he was like, I don't know what to do. And he's very self-focused on his bass. Like if something goes wrong with his instrument, he's like, I'm the number one problem that needs to be fixed right now. And so, yeah. So I was like, just introduce me and then we'll keep going. He's like, my bass is not working. So I'm looking at Alex and looking at Matthew, and Alex knows what to do. But in the middle of this emergency, I take the microphone over to Matthew. Big mistake. He doesn't know what to do. So I'm like, okay, I'll just take things into my own hands. And our lead singer, me! And then we just went into the end of the song. But yeah, it was... Yeah, my mom was like, you should have said your name. I was like, yeah, it doesn't matter. But yeah, that was... Yeah. I just remembered we performed at that the father-son banquet.
Yeah.
With Brad. I forgot about that. We also played Show Your Love there. Which I forgot. We played Folsom Prison Blues. We did Show Your Love. Did we do another song? We did They'll Know We're Christians by Our Blood. Did we only do 3 songs? No. Oh, we did 16 Tons.
Yeah, so it was like 4.
Yeah, we did 4 songs for that. But that was way before this. But yeah. And then after that, we did practices and stuff that wasn't as recent. They weren't as good as they could have been, really. Because Chris was talking about leaving the band. And we were just like, well...
We would have had Chris for that gig at the Father's Day banquet, but he did not want to play those kinds of songs.
Yeah. Alex was actually busy. He couldn't. Matthew said we weren't giving him enough time to actually learn anything. And so he refused to do it. Chris was upset because we were doing it in a church and we were going to do a Christian song and he didn't want to do that. So I ended up having to ask Brad and be like, hey, he's my pastor. And I was like, hey, you want to play bass for us? Because if not, we're screwed. Because we don't have a bassist. So Ethan actually ended up playing guitar and drums.
It was just guitar with a kick drum and hi-hat.
Yeah.
And tambourine on it.
Which is still way more than I could ever do.
Really?
I can't play and...
I mean, all I was doing left, right. Or right, left, right, left, right, left, right.
Yes, but I wouldn't have been able to play guitar and do that at the same time.
Plus I had to sing.
What?
Plus I had to sing.
So yeah, plus you had to sing. Like, you were just like doing a juggling act. MVP Ethan over here. Okay, well, we're gonna try and quickly finish this out. Because we've been recording for almost an hour and 30 minutes. So yeah. So after that, we didn't really do anything because Chris was like, talking about leaving, and we were just like, well, I guess you're just leaving the band now, and we can't really do anything. So, another big thing that played into that was Matthew couldn't show up to Chris's house because of his dad. So we decided to move practices to the rental house that's close to my house. And so that's where we moved practices. And Chris got upset because he didn't want to do practices there and he wanted to do them at his house, which is a big thing. More drama stuff. Which, when I do this series of security, the series security through the years or whatever, I will go through all that stuff. But yeah, so we didn't really do anything. We released Born and Raised, which was cool. And that's kind of when Chris was talking about leaving the band.
Yeah.
And then we just kind of walked through it or whatever. And we didn't really have any gigs or anything that happened during that time. You did, but you did music stuff. Nobody else did. But yeah. And I had what really kind of put the nail in the coffin for Chris leaving the band was my original senior project was supposed to be a concert where we performed with a bunch of other bands.
Yeah.
That
like local bands.
Yeah, local bands that fell through. Fell through as in Mr. Leach made it so stinking impossible for me to do anything and made me really second guess every step of the process that I just said, I'm not going to do it anymore. And literally changed my senior project to something else. And Chris was like, well...
Everybody else that was in on it had to fend for themselves.
Yeah, I felt really bad. I didn't want to leave the guys out just to hanging or whatever, but I didn't really have a choice. My mom was all over me, just like, well, what are you going to do? What is this? Like, everything. And I was just like, I don't know. I don't know. So, yeah. And so I just dropped that and did something else. Which just kind of sealed it in... Chris was getting more courage on insulting Ethan's talent and stuff and all that at that time. Both him and Matthew were like, yeah, his tone sucks and all this stuff. And it was making me really mad. And I was like, okay, well, stop. If you don't like it, leave. And so Chris did. He joined another band and stuff, yeah. But then coming up to the month before the talent show, I was like, you know what would be cool? If we could get Chris back. Just for one last performance. Just to that would be cool as all get out. And Chris was like, yeah, I can come back for one more. And then the month leading up to that, I remember why he left in the first place. All those problems that had happened while he'd been in the band started happening again. So, yeah. It's kind of like the Kiss reunion or Van Halen reunion, David Lee Roth or Ace Frehley, all the stuff that happened like that.
Yeah.
That's what it makes me think of. But yeah. So, yeah, we did the performance. We were doing 3 songs. First of all, I must say that the area that we were performing in for the talent show, not air conditioned at all.
Good Lord, no.
Also, it happened to be the hottest day ever. Plus the humidity felt like it was 100. So, and I must say, I am not a small guy. I'm a big guy. I like being cold because I don't sweat as much. Plus, I sweat an unusual amount. So, when we were doing this, we're getting ready for the performance, I'm already sweating. I'm already covered in sweat. And so it literally looked like I had taken a shower before the performance. My hair was soaked. So, our first song that we're doing is Splinters. So, I'm playing drums for Splinters. Which, Splinters went alright. Splinters was good. We didn't have any problems with Splinters. And then we went to the Desert Song, which is a jam session that we did. Mm-hmm. And it was at that point that I realized, some part of me realized that I was suffering from heat exhaustion. And my arms were getting tired. And it felt like I'd been playing drum set forever, even though, I could tell I was like, man, this is when Ethan walked over to me and was like, "Well, we need to end Desert Song," I was like, "What? We've only been playing for a little bit though, because we've gone longer with the Desert Song stuff, and it just yeah." And I was so thirsty. My throat was so dry by the time that I had to go up and sing "Man in a Box" by Alice in Chains, which Man in the Box, yeah. I did. I cringe every time that I think about it. I almost passed out on stage because one, I was super hot. Like I was like, oh my gosh, it's really hot. And then two, I was probably dehydrated for all the sweating I had done. It was miserable, and yeah, I sang it horribly. I screwed up a lot of the times. Stevie has a recording of the video, and I was listening to the video as I was walking or as I was driving or whatever, and I was like, man, I don't know if I want to post this one.
It kind of sounded like Lane Staley's last concert, to be honest.
Yippee, I sounded like I was on drugs. But yeah, and so, yeah, that was kind of... Plus, Alex was in the wrong tuning.
Yes.
Which threw me off too. I must say that, and there was one way that I can prove that I was suffering from heat exhaustion. Ethan asked me to go over and tell Alex that he was in the wrong tuning. That he needed to be in what was it, E flat?
He was in
D, drop D.
He was in drop D, and he needed to just be in standard. He needed standard E flat.
Yes.
E flat standard.
And so I went over, and Ethan says that I walked very slowly.
You did. You were like, I nodded over to you. I was like, hey, so you can hurry over here before you have to go sing. So then you just went, and then and I was like, hey, you tell Alex he's in the wrong tuning, and then he goes, okay.
Yeah,
Alex, Ethan says you're in the wrong tuning, and then Alex goes, no. Then I'm just like.
Remembering it, it's just I feel like I was just wrapped in a cocoon of just hot, and I'm just like I was swimming. It felt like I was walking through liquid, because I was just I was like, you need to be in E flat or whatever, and he's like, I'm in drop D. I was like, that's not the right tuning, but I'm in drop D. Okay. And I was like, I don't know what to do about this anymore. So then I just turned around and looked at Ethan, and I was like, let's get this show started. And yeah.
And then we had to go a little bit longer because you didn't hurry in time to actually, come in. So we were like, okay, well, here we go.
Yeah. I am thankful that Sebastian played a solo during us switching for Man in a Box and all that. Mm-hmm. That was pretty cool. The solo sounded sweet. Alice, the Man in the Box, did not. Did not. Yeah, that was it. I must say, how every talent show performance we have done, something has gone wrong.
Yeah.
The very first one, Luke Spencer had the snare turned off.
Yeah, because so then it doesn't make as much noise backstage.
Yeah, and she just forgot to turn it back on. Talent show performance number 2, Chris's amp shut off.
Vocals weren't loud enough.
Yeah, vocals weren't loud enough.
They were for Darts on the Wall.
Yeah, I don't. Or Born and Raised.
No, I mean when we did Darts on the Wall, they were totally fine. So I don't see why that had to change.
Well, there was a whole year in between. So, and then for the last one, heat exhaustion, me dying on stage, and failing to sing.
Tuning being wrong.
Oh yeah.
Me being stressed from managing literally everything.
Yeah. If I hadn't been indisposed and I had been mentally present, I would have been able to help more, but I was not there. But yeah. that's just kind of a sneak peek into our music career so far.
Yeah.
Like I said, I will try and eventually get a working series,
You know, it'd be
security through the years or whatever, or a video series, whatever, documentary thing. What are you saying?
cool if one of these days you just like, we gotta stick together to talk about stuff.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Please don't kill me. Let's face it away from me. That's so much better.
What did you do?
See, remember how it was up like that?
Yeah.
Well, I tightened these screws back here and I moved the springs. I matched it like mine.
Oh. I wondered what you were doing because you kept lifting your guitar up and like looking at the back and everything. I was
Yeah.
like, oh.
That's why I'm so glad I had that.
Guitar stuff that I don't understand.
Anyway, before this explodes in my eye. Still have to go up a whole step. I have a little more faith. Yeah, this guitar is heavier than mine. Ooh, that's not the right note. That's a whole step higher. Half a step, actually.
See, I know nothing about guitars. Well, okay, that's a lie. I know like a handful of stuff about guitars. I know how tuning a guitar works. I know like frets and stuff. If you tell me tabs on like a bass guitar, I could probably play it if it's not too overly extreme. But like what Ethan does, like putting the strings on guitars and all this stuff, like yeah, not my element. So it's very cool to watch him do all this stuff. But yeah, that'll be the end of this episode. It's been a long one, but it just felt nice to talk, to sit down and just talk about stuff.
Yeah.
We didn't really share memories of school years past, which we might do. We'll probably do that in a different episode.
We mainly talked about music stuff, and maybe that's because
Yeah.
there's a guitar in both of our faces right now. So.
Yeah, it just felt appropriate to talk about. But yeah. Yeah. So, I'm Braxton Manning, and I'm joined by...
Ethan Johnston.
And this has been the E&B Talk Show. Thank you for joining us here today, and... Whoops, wait a second. And until next time, Yappios.